Day 61. Mess around.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Don't mess around with your dad's tools. Some of them are dangerous.
I'm not a musician, but I like to mess around with the drums when I can. I'm not a musician, but I like to mess around on the drums when I can.
I spent the whole afternoon messing around with my phone instead of finishing my report.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to take that as an insult. I was just trying to mess around.
They're just messing around. Neither of them is planning on making it official anytime soon. Mess around.
요약.
1. Stop messing around with your phone. It's time to go to bed. 2.
My son keeps messing around with video games when he should be studying for his exams.
3. Stop messing around with your brother, Andrew. If you make him cry again, I'm telling your dad. 4.
I am tired of messing around. I want to settle down and get married within the next few years.
Small talk. 1.
How long did it take for you guys to finish the group project?
About 10 hours, but it wasn't like we were working the whole time. Near the end, we were pretty much just messing around. 2.
Do you really think this hairstyle looks bad on me? My girlfriend said it looks cute.
No, I was just messing around. It's cute. 3.
I am done messing around. If you are not going to marry me, then we are through.
Just because I don't want to get married, that doesn't mean I'm messing around. Can't we be committed to each other without making things official? Cases in point.
Well, it's the start of a new year, and I've decided to work on 3 of my bad habits. First of all, I'm terrible at getting to work on time. I'm usually late, and have been reprimanded multiple times because of it. Honestly, before leaving for work, I tend to mess around for like 30 minutes because I just don't want to go. Second, I need to use my free time more effectively. Lately, when I get home from work, I just end up mindlessly watching YouTube or checking social media. I know my time could be better spent on hobbies that make me a better person, but I just can't get myself to do them. Last, I'm going to start going to bed on time. A lack of sleep has been taking a toll on my health.
Day 62. Mess up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
During the play, I messed up several of my lines. When you mess up in the Olympics, you're supposed to act gracefully about it.
My favorite food is fried chicken, but it messes up my stomach every time. Mess up.
요약.
1. I keep messing up this particular dance move during practice. My team is getting worried that I might mess up on stage this weekend too. Stop touching my hair. You are gonna mess it up. I spent 20 minutes this morning getting it just right. 2. His cancellation has messed up my whole schedule.
I don't like when unexpected things mess up my routine.
Small talk. 1.
Nick, I think I messed up. While I was letting my girlfriend look at my phone, another girl messaged me. I told you to carry a burner phone.
2. I tried to make you a cake for your birthday, but I messed it up by putting in too much baking powder. How sweet of you for trying, though. I appreciate this cake too much to eat it. Let's go get ice cream instead. 3.
I bought you an Americano.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't have any coffee. It's not that I don't like coffee. It's just that caffeine messes me up. Cases in point. I normally don't suffer from jet lag when I travel abroad. I'm not sure why, though. Maybe because I'm always excited to be in a different country. However, last month I was told by my boss that I needed to fly to Toronto for a business conference, and that I would need to leave that night. I barely had time to go home and pack, let alone prepare for business meetings. I was there for 4 days, and the meetings went fine, but my sleep has been messed up ever since I got back. Day 63. Mess with.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Can you change the music? It's messing with my mood.
I don't mess with Brandon anymore. He knows exactly what to say to rile me up and start a fight.
I don't mess with the bus system anymore to get to work. It's unpredictable, and it made me late too many times.
I was just messing with you. Don't be so sensitive.
Hey, did you mess with the settings on my camera? All my new photos are overexposed. Mess with.
요약.
1.
I have to stop drinking coffee late. It messes with my sleep.
2. I don't mess with alcohol anymore. It just seems like nothing good ever comes out of drinking.
Ever since I got food poisoning, I don't mess with street food on my travels.
3. My friend likes to mess with servers by pretending he's Japanese and can't read the menu. He's kind of a jerk. 4.
Who messed with my new tablet while I was gone? There's a bunch of apps that I didn't download on it.
5. I learned the hard way not to mess with kitchen staff. I ended up in the hospital with food poisoning the next day. Small talk. 1.
Let's at o'clock next, okay?
Sorry? You're breaking up. I think being underground is messing with my signal. I'll call you back when I get off. 2.
I am going to mess with my students tomorrow for April Fool's Day.
Oh, really? What do you have planned? Maybe I'll get in on it with you. 3.
Did you hear what Johnny said? Someone should teach him a lesson.
Don't mess with him. He's friends with some of the strongest guys in town. Cases in point.
Hello, everyone. Dr. O is with us today to teach us a bit about alcohol consumption and how much is too much. Doctor, please go ahead.
Thank you. As we all know, a lot of Koreans like to kick back with a few drinks after getting off work. But the question is, as you said, how much is too much? Actually, consuming even a little alcohol too frequently can have negative effects on our health. First and foremost, alcohol really messes with the quality of your sleep. If you feel the need to indulge, you should limit yourself to drinking once a week, and in moderation. Day 64. Miss out. Miss out on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Hey, come out tonight. You don't want to miss the party. I heard you were sick and couldn't make it to the concert last weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it, but I got the flu the day before.
Too bad. You really missed out. It was an amazing time.
Hey, Jimin. I heard you got sick before Saturday's meeting. Don't worry. You didn't miss out on anything.
I don't want to miss out on the party or on getting to drink with the boss.
Miss out. Miss out on.
요약.
My family is going to Hawaii, but I told them I was too busy at work.
What? Why would you want to miss out on a trip to Hawaii?
This is a huge chance. I'm not going to miss out on it.
I can't believe I missed out on the ski trip because I was sick. What a bummer. Small talk. 1.
You have to come to Montana Che's party on Dosan Street. You don't want to miss out on a chance to network.
I know. I was really hoping to go and get acquainted with him. I'm still not sure about my schedule, though. Can I let you know by Wednesday? 2.
Team dinners aren't really for me. I don't like that supervisors insist on me drinking soju.
Same here. I don't like going out to company dinners either. But I still go because I don't want to miss out on the juicy small talk. 3.
Well, I'm glad you could make it. I didn't want you to miss out. It will be a good chance to check out these amazing glasses and mingle with people in the fashion industry.
Thanks for inviting me to the pop-up event. I was really looking forward to it. Are there any particular frames you would recommend, by the way? Cases in point. I feel like I should quit social media altogether, especially Instagram. Seeing my friends constantly on holiday or enjoying nights out can make me feel like I am missing out while others are living their life to the fullest. Take a look at this article I recently came across. It goes like this. Social media posts can also set unrealistic expectations and create feelings of low self-esteem. Instagram easily makes girls and women feel as if their bodies aren't good enough. As a woman, I couldn't agree more with what she said in the article. How do you feel? Day 65. Move on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Haley, how was your date last night?
It was amazing. We had dinner and moved on to a quiet wine bar while we talked for hours. I really think this guy's the one.
I knew I was ready to move on when I ran into my ex on the subway and I felt completely normal around her.
I'm the kind of person who can't move on until I completely finish a task. I'm not a multitasker. Move on.
요약.
1.
I've lived in New York for 3 years and I'm really glad for the experience. But now I think I am ready to move on.
2. When you don't know the answer to a question, move on and try again when you finish the easier ones. 3.
Sarah's going on a blind date this weekend. I guess she moves on really fast.
4. Following the scandal, many of his fans have already moved on. Small talk. 1.
I think we're ready to move on, so I'll just pull up the next slide.
Wait a second. Can you elaborate more on battery cells? You lost me a bit there. 2. I heard you took Jeff and Haley out to dinner last night. How did it go? Jeff was looking pretty rough this morning when I saw him.
Yeah, I did. We first went out for pork belly before moving on to a bar named Unforgettable at Gongdeok Station. We were having a good time until Jeff got totally wasted and started hitting on some women. Haley was furious.
3. Are you still upset about Jiwon? It's been 6 months already. You can't let the past get in the way. It's time to move on.
I wish it was that easy. I can't get over her. All I can think about is what a huge mistake I made.
Cases in point.
I used to be a huge fan of Lady Gaga, but her latest album just feels like a cash grab. It looks like her peak time in the spotlight is over, and I can see why many fans are moving on. She just doesn't seem to play a real role in the music scene anymore. It seems like she's lost touch with fans, especially with her lack of engagement on social media. Lately, it feels like she's more focused on making money than maintaining her artistic integrity, which has really disappointed me.
Day 66. Pass 4.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
What do you think of my costume? Could I pass for a real police officer?
If you grew a mustache, you could definitely pass for your dad.
I have this replica piece of Joseon Dynasty furniture. It could definitely pass for an authentic antique to most people.
He was living his life, passing for a normal banker and husband. No one knew he was actually a psychopath. Pass 4.
요약.
1.
Minsu's English is so good that he can pass for a Korean American.
This gently used watch could pass for new. It's barely been out of its box. 2.
I grew up in Paris. It can be difficult to fit into any new place while traveling, but there are a few things I think you should know if you're trying to pass for a Paris local or simply want to have a smooth trip. The Rouge Bakery is where you can get the freshest baguettes. It's also a spot to buy tarts to share with friends, grab a quick croissant before work, and eat a snack after school.
Small talk. 1.
Your English is so good that you could almost pass for a native speaker. Didn't you mention that you've never been to any English-speaking countries? Where did you pick up your English then?
Thank you for saying so. I mostly picked it up from watching American shows, but I've got some British friends in Seoul, and hanging out with them has really helped. 2.
I can't believe she is in her late 50s. She obviously has taken such good care of her skin. She could even pass for 30.
Totally. Apparently, she is getting some expensive treatments from a posh skin clinic in Gangnam. I wish I could afford that too. 3.
What did you think of her interpretation of his acceptance speech?
I was blown away. I think she could pass for a professional interpreter. Cases in point.
Last Christmas, I wanted to play Santa for the kids, but it was late December, and all I could get my hands on was a cheap, used costume. Santa costumes are in high demand around Christmas, so you should really order one by early December at the latest. I was really worried that my kids would see through the disguise as soon as I walked in. The beard looked like a mop, and the suit didn't even have real buttons. Still, I put on the costume and hoped for the best. When I came into the living room, the kids' eyes lit up with excitement. Despite the bad costume, I managed to pass for Santa, and the evening was a magical one.
Day 67. Pass up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I had to pass up getting my dream car, a Porsche 911.
Have you ever had to pass up a pair of jeans that looked great, only because the waist was too tight? Why did you buy 3 bottles? We only needed 1.
It was buy 2, get 1 free. I couldn't pass that up.
Pass up.
요약.
I'm on a diet, but I can never pass up free donuts at the office. Even though I didn't need a new dress, I couldn't pass up the sale. I've been obsessed with Olivia Palermo's style for a while, so I couldn't pass up the chance to meet her in person. Small talk. 1.
Hello, I just came across this Danish chair, and it's something I was really hoping to get my hands on. I would be willing to pay even more than the listed price.
Thank you for your offer, but unfortunately, I'll have to pass it up because I already promised to sell the chair to someone else. 2.
Wow, check out that line. Let's go over and check out what's going on. I never pass up on free drinks.
Hey, dude, can't we skip it? There is this saying in Korea, if you go after only free things, you'll lose your hair. 3.
You already have enough leather jackets. Why don't you just make do with what you already have?
Yeah, I know I already have enough. But when I saw this genuine leather jacket on sale for 500,000 won, I couldn't pass it up. Cases in point. Need advice on buying a 2006 Sienna with 290,000 kilometers. Hi, I'm new here. I don't know if this is okay to post, but I'm an older woman who is trying to find a dependable van, and I don't know much about car maintenance. I have an appointment to look at a car tomorrow with about 290,000 kilometers on it. It seems well maintained and looks fine. I'm having a mechanic check it out. But from what I can tell, the timing belt probably needs replacing about now. Right? The owner gave me a discount on the price from 5.3 million won to 3.4 million won before I even took a look at it. I just wanted to know if it's going to end up costing me millions in maintenance over the next year. If so, I will have to pass it up, even though it looks like a nice van. Day 68. Pick up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I ended up picking up the tab.
Do you want me to pick anything up for you?
I'll pick up something for dinner on my way home.
On our trip to Mongolia, we picked up sea buckthorn jam, which isn't available back home. Pick up.
요약.
1.
Coffee beans are a hassle to pick up if you spill them. They bounce and end up going everywhere.
2. I will pick you up from work. 3.
I'll pick up some coffee at the CU. Would you like some?
4.
You're the first person I've heard use the word clicks for kilometers.
Yeah, I think I picked up that expression from the Canadians in my office. 5.
Okay, guys, let's pick up where we left off yesterday.
Small talk. 1.
Is that cilantro? Ugh. Didn't I mention that I don't really care for cilantro? Where did you pick that up, by the way? It's kind of hard to find fresh cilantro.
Oh, dang it. That totally slipped my mind. There's this produce store right next to Sungmyung Women's University Station. 2.
I got you this delicious olive cheese bread. Want to try some? Whenever I go to Daejeon for business, I always pick up some bread from Seongsimdang.
I'm good, thanks. I feel bloated when I have bread. There must be something about bread that just doesn't agree with me. 3.
It seems like I've picked up a bad habit of late-night snacking from working the night shift.
Aha! That explains the extra pounds you've put on in the last few weeks. That's totally unhealthy. You should definitely cut down. Cases in point. Honey, I am a bit worried that your aunt won't be able to find her way to our apartment. This is her first visit to Seoul, after all.
No worries. I'll pick her up at the airport. That way, she doesn't have to try and figure out the subway system.
That would be so nice. But didn't you mention that you have a Zoom meeting tonight?
That has been pushed back to next Monday, thankfully.
Well, that turned out perfectly. I'm going to swing by the store to pick up some groceries while you are out then.
Sounds like a plan. I think it'll be around 9 o'clock when we get home.
Day 69. Pick up on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
She seems terrible at taking hints.
You figured it out right away.
I wouldn't bother James right now. Didn't you pick up on how irritable he was this morning?
My husband never picks up on any of my hints.
I was tossing and turning all night. I couldn't sleep at all. That always happens right before a busy day.
Really? I didn't pick up on that at all. You seemed energetic and were mingling with everyone at dinner tonight. Pick up on.
요약.
Minji picked up on the nuances of the language faster than expected. She's a natural. My 5-year-old son got in trouble for swearing in school. He must have learned that from me.
Be careful what you say around him. Kids pick up on everything they hear. Small talk. 1.
Did you pick up on the lack of conversation between those two? It seems like they broke up.
Do you really think so? Now that you mention it, I noticed Sarah wasn't wearing her couple ring the last time we went out. Hey, you're really good at picking up on stuff like that. I would have never guessed unless you said something. 2.
Nicholas seemed to be in a bad mood this morning. I wonder if something happened last night.
Did he really? I didn't pick up on that. Why don't we ask him? 3. Did you pick up on the strange vibe in that pub? Yes. I think it was because we were the only girls there. I guess it was the kind of place that girls don't usually go to. I felt like I didn't belong there. Cases in point.
I've got some Korean students who complain to me about the difficulties of talking on the phone. They say, I can barely understand what the other person is saying when we speak in English. You know, I see where they're coming from. Communication itself isn't just about verbal expressions. Our body language and expressions are also a huge part. So, I always encourage my students to turn on their cameras during Zoom classes. It's so much easier for them to pick up on what's being communicated if we can see each other's faces.
Day 70. Pull off.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Pulling off bandages can be really painful, so I choose to rip them off quickly.
I have a hard time pulling my jeans off after a big dinner.
I think other people look cool in bucket hats, but I can't pull it off. I have 24 hours to write 50 pages before my book deadline.
Oh my. Do you think you can pull it off? Pull off.
요약.
1.
When I'm taking the elevator in the morning, I check myself out in the mirror and pull off any lint or cat hair on my shirt.
2. 20 looks that are really hard to pull off past your 20s. 3.
The lead actor was sick, but he still pulled off an incredible performance on opening night.
Small talk. 1.
I think my feet are swollen from this morning's hike. It's really hard to pull off my shoes.
Yeah, that sometimes happens to me after a long hike. Do you need a hand? Where did you go hiking, by the way? 2.
Look at this amazing TikTok video. I can't believe this student can even pull off something like this. The way he's dancing, he's basically floating over the floor.
Oh yeah, I've seen that video. Apparently, it's gotten over 200 million views and 2.3 million likes on TikTok. 3.
I've been thinking about dyeing my hair blue, but I'm not sure I can pull it off. Do you think it would suit me?
What are you thinking? You're in your 60s. Nobody your age could pull off something that crazy.
Cases in point. 1. I am a big fan of Tottenham, the team that Son Heung-min plays for. They had a match against Chelsea last weekend. In the first half, they were down by 2 goals, but Son pulled off a hat trick in the second half. It was unbelievable that they managed to pull off a victory when they were losing the game well into 75 minutes. 2.
I am currently working on an online MBA. I was actually already supposed to have finished my paper and turned it in by midnight, British time. But with the time difference, I didn't realize that I had only 2 hours left, and I couldn't quite pull it off in time. Thankfully, after I talked to my professor, he extended the deadline so I could submit the paper without penalty. I was lucky, but I'll have to be careful not to make the same mistake in the future.
Day 71. Put away.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Please be sure to put away weights after you use them. Otherwise, other gym members can't find what they need.
I live paycheck to paycheck. I don't have any money left to put away after paying all my bills.
This mukbang YouTuber can put away 3 servings of pork belly by herself and still has room for dessert.
Put away.
요약.
1.
My wife has this habit of leaving everything scattered around, never putting things away.
2. I've been putting away money for this new iPad. But when I went to the Apple store to check one out, I found that they sold out just 2 days after launch. 3.
If I remember right, my uncle could put away 5 bottles of soju by himself.
Small talk. 1. Don't put away your jacket before it's dry. That's how you get moldy clothes.
Okay. I'll hang it up on the drying rack overnight.
2.
I heard you're planning a trip to Europe next summer. I could never afford that. How can you come up with the money?
I've been putting away a little from each paycheck into a travel fund. It really adds up. 3.
No matter what I eat, I just can't seem to gain weight. I guess you have the same problem, right, Dad? Yes, but I think we're just not forcing ourselves hard enough to eat protein. Look at your cousin Robert. He puts away a lot of chicken and beans almost every meal, and then he downs protein shakes on top of that.
Cases in point.
Ever since I moved into this place, I've been trying to put things away anywhere there's space. It's become a disorganized mess. That's why I'm planning on borrowing a friend's truck this weekend. I'm gonna go to that cheap furniture store and get some closets and drawers. Once I have proper places to put away all my textbooks and teaching materials, this place can be more useful for all kinds of purposes. Like, I could even buy some kettlebells and do workouts here in the morning.
Day 72. Put down.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Put down your phone and eat your dinner.
I think your internship experience at Alcon is too short to put down on your resume.
To rent a bike, you need to put down your ID as collateral.
When I was dating my ex, I felt like she was always putting me down. She always compared me with her successful ex-boyfriend and made me feel like I was nothing.
Put down.
요약.
1. I put down the wine glass too quickly, and it spilled onto the table. 2.
I try to put down my thoughts on paper when I have too many things to do. It helps me get organized.
3. We require that our customers put down a 300,000 won security deposit to rent a car.
If you want to open a tab at the bar, you need to put down your card.
4. Why did you have to put me down in front of everybody like that?
At the dinner table, it's disheartening when Dad puts down Mom's cooking, especially when she's worked hard to prepare a healthy meal.
Small talk. 1. My husband can't be bothered to put the toilet seat down, which is really frustrating. Men are always like that. It's not just your husband. My husband is always doing that, coming up with all these different excuses like, it just slipped my mind, or I'm not myself today. So don't let it get to you. 2.
I was thinking of getting this sports car. The thing is, I can barely afford it.
Then how about just leasing it? If you have good enough credit, you might even be able to lease a new car without putting anything down. 3.
I noticed you didn't list any emergency contact on your application form. Is there a reason for that?
Oh, I'm still deciding who to put down. My family lives abroad, so I'm considering a close friend. I will fill it out as soon as I confirm it with them. Cases in point. 1. I was checking out an old bookstore last weekend when I came across this charming book, and I was hooked from the first page. I sat in the corner on the floor, reading it, completely unable to put it down. I was there for hours and eventually bought it. I love how books can make me lose track of time like that.
2.
I went to a party with my high school friends tonight and brought my wife along. I was hoping we'd have a good time together. But at one point, she made fun of me for my old high school nickname. I used to be called Bookworm, but she said I haven't read anything besides webtoons in ages. It felt like she was putting me down. I laughed it off in the moment, but it actually hurt. The rest of the evening just didn't feel the same.
Day 73. Put off.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
You know that complicated tax paperwork I was putting off for months? I finally got around to it.
He called his mom during our date to ask which cafe we should go to. It totally put me off.
I was really put off after the dish I ordered was totally different from the photo, and they wouldn't refund me.
Put off.
요약.
1. I really want to go to South America this summer, but the news is saying there's a dangerous mosquito-borne virus going around these days, so I decided to put that trip off. 2. I would never date a smoker because the smell of tobacco really puts me off.
I'm a big baseball fan, but I've noticed that whenever a star player secures a lucrative contract, his performance never lives up to his pre-contract performances. Seeing my team's money wasted like that really puts me off.
Small talk. 1.
You're playing games on your phone? It looks like you're slacking off. Did you ever get around to that work? I mean, those piles of paperwork?
I honestly did just get through all the stuff I'd been putting off. I was just starting to take a break. 2.
Did you file your taxes yet? This week is the deadline. You can't put it off any longer.
Stop trying to make me feel bad. It's not like last year. I actually got an accountant to take care of my taxes this year. They're already done. 3.
I had a big crush on Unji, in part because I thought she was classy. So when I heard her swearing, that really put me off.
She seems classy, but you know what? It's not just her swearing. She also gossips about almost everyone. I'd stay away from her if I were you. Cases in point.
As you mentioned earlier, something needs to be done to turn things around. We've been losing customers for 3 months straight, and our sales were down 30% last month from January. We're in need of some big changes. We need to bring in new customers while maintaining our existing customer base. While turning the ground floor into a cafeteria is an interesting idea, I'm afraid it may put off our loyal customers. Anyway, let's hold off on that for now and put our heads together to try to figure out other ways to boost sales.
Day 74. Put on versus have on versus try on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
My hair looks bad today. I don't want to go outside.
Come on, just put on a hat and let's go.
I have a headache.
Do you want me to put on some classical music? Hey, Dave, why do you have on your running shoes?
I'm going for a jog straight after work.
Honey, why is your wardrobe laying all over the bed?
I was trying on different outfits for my first day at work.
Put on versus have on versus try on.
요약.
1. Put on some pants before you go in the restaurant. You can't wear your swimsuit in there. I was putting on my perfume this morning and dropped the bottle on my bathroom floor. 2.
Even though I have 2 sweaters on, I am still freezing.
You don't have any socks on? Aren't your feet cold? 3.
Where are the fitting rooms? I want to try this on before I decide.
It's always a good idea to try something on before you buy it. Small talk. 1.
Mary, your face is so red.
I know. I forgot to put on sunscreen at the park yesterday. 2.
Are you going to be warm enough in that jacket? It looks pretty thin.
Yeah, I have 2 layers of thermal underwear on, so I'll be fine. Don't worry. 3.
I saw a blue shirt this weekend that looked great on the rack, but after trying it on, it definitely wasn't for me.
You are just afraid to wear any clothes that aren't black. I'm sure you looked good. Cases in point.
Okay, everyone. This is for anyone hoping to gain a few pounds. If you're serious about putting on weight, the most important thing to do is eat foods that are high in calories. Some protein shakes are specifically made for people looking to gain weight. I recommend those. There are also some protein bars that will help you put on weight if you eat them regularly. Another thing is to keep track of the calories that you are consuming each day. Having a record is going to help you if you're not seeing enough results. Good luck to you guys on your weight-gaining journey.
Day 75. Put together.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I broke my mom's vase when I was young. I tried so hard to put together the shattered pieces before she came home. My wife always manages to put together amazing meals with leftovers in the fridge.
Let's put our heads together and plan a fun trip this summer. Put together.
요약.
1.
I didn't want to pay an assembly fee, so I put together my new cabinet myself.
I can't put together anything that requires a drill. 2.
You make the beginning slides, I'll make the ending slides, and let's put them all together this weekend.
I've almost finished putting together my monster costume. I just need some appropriate shoes. 3.
The number of tourists visiting Paris annually is more than those visiting Rome, Athens, and Berlin put together.
The sales of this new smartphone model in its first week exceeded those of all previous models put together. Small talk. 1.
The speaker on my phone stopped working. I took it apart to try and fix it, but now I don't know how to put it back together.
Wow, you tried to do it yourself? That must have been such a hassle. I would have just taken it to a repair shop. 2. Hi, Sujin. You look tired. Tough day at school? Yeah,
The teacher put me together with Haley for a project, and we fought again about who should do what. It was really draining.
3.
You always say you're exhausted after work. What's keeping you so busy?
I've been putting together a budget plan for next year. It actually used to be Jeff's job, but he's on paternity leave, so I had to take over. Cases in point. 1.
I went to this salad place for lunch in Mangwandong this afternoon. It was actually a place my friend Sam recommended. Surprisingly, it was pretty packed for a weekday. It was my first time at a salad place, though, so I couldn't figure out how to order. It turned out you could just choose whatever ingredients you wanted and put them together in the bowl. When you have everything you want, the cashier weighs it to figure out the price.
2.
I have a student who is a professor. She told me that when she breaks up the class into small groups, she tries to make them diverse. She doesn't want to put all the American students together in one group and all the Chinese students together in another. She puts students from various backgrounds together in each group.
Day 76. Put up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I just found a great place to put up our posters. Come with me.
Let's put up these pictures of the decor on Instagram before we head out.
Apparently, they will be putting up a new skyscraper downtown. I heard they'll start construction next week.
My cousin has been putting me up for a few weeks. It's time to find somewhere else to stay. Put up.
요약.
1.
My friend put up flyers all over the city to try and find her missing dog.
The cafe recently put up vintage posters, giving it a cozy retro vibe. 2.
We were thinking of putting up a fence around our garden to keep out the neighbors' dogs.
Apparently, they're planning to put up a hotel where the museum used to be. 3.
I put up a breathtaking sunset photo on my blog, and it immediately got a lot of attention.
4. When my apartment was being renovated, Jeff put me up for a few weeks. Small talk. 1.
Can I take a picture of this ring and put it up on Instagram?
Please don't. This is my personal design. You can't put it up on your account. It'll look like you're taking credit for it. 2.
What's all that noise? It's been going on for a while.
They're putting up a new apartment complex a few streets down. They'll be working on it for the next few months. 3.
Hey, will you help me put up some of these posters? We're going to have a car boot sale in a few weeks.
Posters? That's not going to work. No one pays attention to what's written on posters anymore. If you want to spread the word, you need to post it on social media. Cases in point. Well, I have a bit of a problem. My brother recently got out of a bad divorce, so I've been putting him up for the last few weeks. He's been having a hard time, and I want to give him the support he needs. All of my kids have been trying to help him out. But here's the thing. He's starting to outstay his welcome. All he does is sit on the couch all day watching TV and eating our food. We've gone through twice as many groceries because of him. He hasn't offered to help out with the grocery bill or even pitch in with chores around the house. If this keeps up, I don't know how much longer we'll be able to stand putting him up. Day 77. Put up with.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
After years of living in Minnesota, I decided I couldn't put up with the winters anymore and moved to Florida.
I love my job, but I don't know how long I can put up with this 2-hour commute every day.
You can't fry an egg? How does your wife put up with you?
Put up with.
요약.
1.
I hate flying, and my wife can't put up with long road trips. Staycation it is, I guess.
This company is a great place to work, but they don't put up with missed deadlines. Make sure to submit your work on time. 2.
I don't know how my parents put up with me during my teenage years. I was a handful.
I admit that I'm hard to put up with at times. I demand a lot from my team, but it's because I want us all to do our best. Small talk. 1.
Oh, babe, it's on sale. We should get 2 to save money.
Our budget can't put up with your lavish spending, and I can't put up with your childish logic. 2.
We don't want to move, but we can't put up with the noise coming from the upstairs neighbor any longer. We need to cancel our lease.
I understand, but let me just talk to that neighbor again. I'll remove him if I need to. 3.
It takes her 3 days to check your text messages. How do you put up with her? I know she really cares about me. That's just the way she communicates.
Cases in point.
I had always been a patient person until I met my roommate, Steve. From leaving dirty dishes in the sink for days to blasting music late at night, Steve had no idea of how terrible a roommate he was. I tried to put up with his behavior the first couple of times. However, as time went on, I started to lose my cool. I confronted him several times, but nothing seemed to change. Finally, I reached my breaking point when he decided to host a party on a weeknight. I could no longer put up with such disrespect. I decided it was time to find a new roommate.
Day 78. Run into.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I've run into some trouble advertising your job posting. I'll have to get your input before proceeding.
Run into.
요약.
1. I was staring at my phone and ended up running into the revolving door. 2.
Nice running into you. We should grab a coffee soon.
3. We ran into some turbulence just before landing.
As long as we don't run into any major issues, we should be able to move into our new house next month.
Small talk. 1.
Sally, if you run into Minsu, tell him he has a package waiting at the entrance.
Sounds good. Speaking of Minsu, I haven't seen him all week. Where did he... Oh, I totally forgot. I must be losing my mind. He went on a trip to Brisbane last week. 2.
Hello. There's an error with my Samsung Pay, and I was hoping you could help me out with it. I ran into this problem while trying to sign up for the course using that app.
Sorry for the inconvenience. We haven't seen anything like this before. Do you mind if we get back to you in an hour or so? 3.
John, you can access the file I mentioned in our Google Docs. Make sure to have it finished by tomorrow. Feel free to let me know if you run into any problems. I'll get right on it, sir. I will have it taken care of in time for the board meeting.
Cases in point. After years of using a washing machine that barely works, I finally got a brand new LG washing machine with all the latest features. I was so excited to get my hands on it that I could hardly wait for it to be delivered. But then, when it finally came this morning, the guys installing it ran into a problem. It was too big to fit into our little laundry room. I guess we should have measured the space beforehand. I feel like I got excited for nothing. I think I'll have to go back to the store and pick out a more basic model that will fit the space we have. Day 79. Settle for.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Do you have Absolute?
No, we have Smirnoff and Sky.
Then I will settle for Sky. I'll have the avocado salad.
Sorry, but we're out of avocados. How about the chicken salad instead?
What? Really? I guess I'll just settle for the chicken salad then. After being down by 1 for 73 minutes, we came back with a brilliant attack and tied it up. We probably could have won with a little more time, but we had to settle for a draw.
I wanted the newer model, but it was way out of my price range. I just settled for last year's model instead.
You really want to set Rachel up with Dave? You know she won't settle for just any guy.
Settle for.
요약.
1. We wanted to go to Europe for our honeymoon, but since we got married during travel restrictions, we had to settle for Jeju Island instead.
I was looking for goat cheese at the grocery store, but I had to settle for feta cheese instead.
2. We were hoping to have a picnic by the Han River this weekend, but it ended up raining. We had to settle for playing chess at a board game cafe instead. Small talk. 1.
I'm planning on checking out that new vegan pizza place that just opened. Apparently, they have a lot of unique toppings. It's been getting great reviews.
There's no meat on their pizza, though. You would have to settle for tofu or meat substitutes. 2.
She always wanted to marry a professional, like a doctor or a lawyer. At first, I thought there was no way she would settle for an office worker like me.
Then how did you get her to change her mind? What was your secret? You two seem like a match made in heaven now. 3. That power outage last weekend was crazy. What did you and your wife end up doing?
Well, our plan was to watch Netflix and chill at home. But since the power was out, we settled for looking through our photo albums to pass the time.
Cases in point.
Owning my dream car has been a lifelong goal, but the model I had in mind is way too expensive. I was still trying to find some way to make the purchase next year when a recent visit to the dealer gave me some perspective. They suggested I consider a less expensive model, saying it would more than meet my needs unless I wanted to do something like pro racing. After some thought, I think I will have to settle for this alternative. It's still a luxurious choice, after all, and I'd be lucky to own it.
Day 80. Show off versus brag about.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Jerry always wears his Harvard t-shirt to the gym.
Yeah, he's trying to show off to impress some girls. He has no muscles to show off, after all.
How was that blind date you went on last night?
Awful. The guy just bragged about himself the whole night. Show off versus brag about.
요약.
1.
Am I the only one who has nothing cool to post on Instagram?
Those people are just showing off. I think you're cool. 2.
I don't mean to brag about this, but my business has really taken off this year.
That's great news. I'm happy for you. Small talk. 1. I can't wait to show off my new bikini body in Hawaii.
I'm sure you'll look amazing, honey. You've worked so hard on your diet.
2.
I don't really get why everyone's crazy about Rolex watches.
Well, for some, it's more than just telling time. It's about status and showing off wealth. 3.
Did you hear Nick bragging about winning that amateur bodybuilding competition?
Yeah, he seems addicted to workouts lately. Don't even bring it up around him. He'll go on for hours. Cases in point. As job seekers, it's important to show off your achievements during interviews. You should highlight your successes and skills with confidence. In other words, don't be shy about bragging about your accomplishments. How you present yourself is important. If you are too humble or shy, you might come off as being less confident. Employers in the job market today are attracted to confident people. So as long as you believe you're qualified for the position, make sure you come across as capable, because you are.